Hi Stampers, it's Super Awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I am from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, USA, which is in the southern part of the state. And tonight is Friday night for me, so we're doing Friday Night Lights videos tonight. I am featuring the Blackberry Beauty Suite. So hi Linda, thanks for watching tonight. I am going to flip you down to my table and we'll get started with my project. So if you get dizzy with the flipping, make sure you shut your eyes for a few seconds because I have to do it by myself. I don't have the fancy switching software. Hi Susan. I should maybe cover the camera while I'm doing that with my hand. All right, now I got to strap you into my other camera stand. And then make sure that you can see me on my screen, or on the computer screen, so that I can address any comments as they come through. There, I see me. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I said, I'm featuring the Blackberry Beauty Suite and the Beauty of Tomorrow stamp set. So this stamp set is right on my alley. I like shabby chic. I like organic looking things. I love this font, which means I don't have to keep everything totally at a straight line. Although these two you have to do straight. This one you could probably get away with being a little bit off center. So let's get started with my card. So I like cards that are easy to do, but are fabulous at the same time. Add a little bit of wow without not a lot of effort. And I shouldn't say not a lot of effort, just not a lot of thinking. And this is one that has been whirling around the paper crafting world. It's called the book binder fold. So, you know, books have spines. Well, a paper crafting spine is flat on the front. So it would stand up on your table like that. Something a little different, something you can showcase some ribbon on. And this allows you to have a little thicker ribbon and some embellishments over here to make mailing a little bit easier because it's about the same thickness. So let's get started. I wanted to first show that in my intro video, I mentioned I didn't have my project designed. So I showed you all the products in the Blackberry Beauty Suite, and I managed to use all the products on my card. But one thing I couldn't get to work was this larger die cut. So it has all these oak leaves on it, and I knew I wanted to use this paper that had these oak leaves, but I just couldn't get it to fit. It was just too overpowering to have the full overlay, and I didn't like just a little bit peeking out of there. But in addition, on this die set, there are 4 smaller oak leaves, so I managed to use those instead of this piece. Now I wanted to point out the vellum here. This is the gold shimmer vellum, as long as I have a large piece. So one side is kind of opaque, and one side is the shimmer. So this actually allows for some adhesive not to show through. So I used the glue dots and the tape runner, and you can't see the adhesive, which is something you have to watch out with. I should say real vellum, you know, the opaque white stuff is the adhesive shows through. Okay, all right, enough of that jammering on. Let's see, hi Susan, hi Carol, and hi Nancy. All right, let's get started with our card here. So my base is Blackberry Bliss, and you can just use your standard A2 or A4 base, and it's just scored regularly in half, no matter what kind of base you have. Then you have to decide how wide your book binder is. And so I decided I was going to have a 1-inch strip here of the pattern paper, and I'll go through that in a minute while I decided on that strip. So then, as long as you decide how wide you want that strip, you got to figure out how much of a score mark you need to have here. So what I did was I scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/4 inches, or scored at 10.5 centimeters and 13.5 centimeters. So I'll give you the same width right there to do the book binding part. So while we are here doing the book binding, let's adhere that down. So I did use my tear and tape. I wanted to make sure that it was super sticky and that it it was not going to go anywhere. And all I did was place it on the inside score. The score that would be normally part of the card. And then I just walk it back and press down. So you don't need adhesive on the whole section. You know, you could put it on that edge. I didn't bother. That tear and tape is going to hold that down pretty well. Now you want to grab your bone folder and crisp your edges up. It'll just make assembling this card a little easier. Okay, so there's that. All right, next, let's discuss my paper options. So I also like to make sure that I'm using as much of the pattern paper as you can, because you're paying for it. It's beautiful. There's no reason for you to put it back in your scrap bin, or maybe you would never use it again. So I like to select or like to design cards that use the full strip. So our pattern paper comes in 12 by 12, or is it 30 by 30 centimeters? So you can get actually you can get 6 cards. Let me pull the pattern paper up. You can get 6 cards off of one sheet of pattern paper. And the reason why I say that is because you are going to cut off 4-inch pieces. So 4-inch this way. So you're going to cut your pattern paper in 4 equal pieces. And did I write that number down for centimeters? It would be, oh, can I do this quickly? 10 centimeters, right? If it's 30 centimeters across. So grab your 4 by whatever, and in this case it's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, or 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. All right, so you got this piece of paper, but it still won't fit on your card. So you gotta do some more scoring. Hopefully I explained that. Didn't muddle my words there. All right, so now here's that piece of paper I just cut off. You're gonna get 3 more pieces off of that. So you can use all of these pieces. All right, so your first cut would be, you cut off 1 inch. Let me do it this way. You cut off the 1 inch here, which is also 0.7 centimeters. It leaves you this edge, and then what's left is too wide. You want a little bit of a mat around your pattern paper. So I cut off a little sliver, and that little sliver is 1/4 inch, or 0.7 centimeters. Oh, you know what? Did I say that wrong? Let me go back. The first cut is 1 inch off, or 2.5 centimeters. The second cut is 1/4 inch, or 0.7 centimeters. There you go. Visually, that's correct. It said the numbers wrong the first time through. All right, and then we got this piece left. All right, so then I can start assembling. Now this piece, this pattern piece, is the same size for inside, the basic white or whatever you're gonna put in the inside. Tracy says it's 10 centimeters and a little bit left over for the pattern paper, the designer series paper cut into 3 equal pieces for metric. Okay. All right, so part of this, the reason why this is called bookbinder is because you can have your sentiment on one side and your personal note on the other side. Just like a book, you would start your personal sentiment here and then your stamp sentiment here, or however you want to do it. So I kind of like this because sometimes I ran out of room writing on this side of the card, and then I have to do an arrow and go up here, and it doesn't look as nice. So yeah, I might be doing more of these bookbinder cards in the future. Anyway, I digress, I think. My point was the pattern paper that you cut on the front is the same size that you'd cut for the card liners. So those would be 2 by 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, or 7 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. All right. And I'll write out all the dimensions in the description of the video. Okay, so I think I can start assembling. Where's my stamp and seal? Let's get the pattern paper done first. All right, so I haven't used my Stamp and Seal. Now, if you have Stamp and Seal, I learned this from Elizabeth a few times ago, you need to break your adhesive at 90 degrees. No, it's at 90 degrees to your table. So you see I'm lifting up. I'm not breaking it down. I'm lifting up. If you lift up, your Stamp and Seal should roll correctly each time. I still am in an 18-year habit where I break it closer to the table. So you want to break it and pull up. All right, now when I was designing this card, I thought this looked a little stark. And I had already cut off this little sliver here. So again, we're not going to waste that little sliver. We're going to put it over there. And that just added enough relief, enough color for this to complement this side of the card, for the left and right complement. Right, and so for this one, we are going to just use a little bit of Tombow. Little tiny bit. You don't need a lot. It's going to squish out because it's a thin little strip. Just like that. All right, looks like people are liking the bookbinder card. Yay, I'm glad I thought to do this one. All right, now next, I gotta wipe my hand on my, on some scrap paper here, on my mat. Got a little bit of Tombow on me. All right, next we're gonna do the gold shimmer ribbon. And I really like this suite because they named everything the same. So I'm using the gold shimmer ribbon. I'm also using the gold shimmer vellum, so it's easy to remember. And I generally cut my ribbons, bows, knots right off the roll to try to minimize waste. And that is probably a little too much. There. Pull that up where I want it. And I'm just doing a simple knot with straight ends. Now if it's a little big, you can pull on this end. If you haven't pulled it tight, pull on that end a little bit and make it a little smaller. And then it's just zhuzhing. I know, Terry, isn't this ribbon pretty? All right, and I'm gonna make, how about I do an angle knot. Oh, now that's not enough. Let's pull the knot this way. I gotta have a balanced tails. This ribbon is so gorgeous that it needs balance. There. And then when I do angles, I like my angles to be angled the same way on this kind of a bow knot. And by that I mean, oh, I guess they aren't the same way. They are complementary. But now I just pulled it there. So the tip of my ribbon is towards the top and the angle is in the center of the card, same with the bottom. And then if you don't want that moving around, that is a little bit loose there, I'm gonna grab a glue dot. Just stick it right underneath the knot. There. Okay, all right, we're done with that. This way, put that to the side. All right, next up is I've got little bits of Tombow glue. You know when you get to your end of your glue, Tombow glue, for some, I don't know how or why, but glue gets on the outside of the container. So that's what's happening to my fingers. Now I have a little bit of the ribbon stuck to me. All right, now here's this pretty shimmer vellum. So had to use it somehow. It's going to be under our tag. Now I'm going to pull in the ephemera pack. and show you. I initially tried to use one of these, didn't like it. The ephemera pack has got one sheet of those, and it has 2 sheets of the other designs, okay? So I was lucky. I was lucky that I got, well, actually, it does have 2 sheets of everything. There's 2 of everything on this sheet right there. I failed to notice that yesterday when I was designing this card. All right, so I'm going to pick this tag. I'm not going to worry about that hole because I'm covered up with that owl. Just in the center. Now, the vellum here, the gold shimmer vellum, I just cut so there was enough of a mat around the tag. Do have measurements for you, 1 by 3/4 inches by 3 inches, or 4.4 by 7.6 centimeters. Should work with that. I'm sure, I just had a idea. I'm sure in the metric markets you get the same size ephemera. It's just that your cardstock is a little different. All right, now I know one of the reasons why I want to show you the ephemera pack is because in the catalog it shows this big owl, and there were a lot of lamentations that the stamp set does not have the owl, but the paper has the owl. You get 2 sheets of these gorgeous purplish owls that you can fussy cut to your heart's delight. I should have counted, but I'm sure you'd be pretty tired by the end fussy cutting all these. So you still get an owl that's a little smaller, and actually I think it's a little more workable because it's smaller. So I place that right over there. Now I want to make it thicker. I want to make it dimensional because I want it to even out that thicker bow. So a little bit of glue dot or dimensionals underneath that. Let's attach this. And I'm placing it to the bottom corner, not in the center. It looks, the way the card works is that your eye is pulled to the knot, and then it comes across the spine. It hits the owl and comes down to the little swag of shimmer oak leaves, and then you open the card. So there's that. My little oak leaves. So I've already die cut those out. I fussy cut some ferns. Those belong on the inside. So down here, so you can't see the glue dot through there because it's got that coating. It's a little thicker vellum than in years past. A little more sturdy. Maybe they had to make it a little more sturdy because the shimmer is in there. So I'm just doing 3 of those small die cut oak leaves for little bottom swag. All right, now let's open that up and do a little stamping. And I'm using the Blackberry Beauty ink pad. Let's get some things out of the way there. And this sentiment says, the changing of leaves reminds us that new wonders are just around the corner. And if it is not perfectly straight, that's perfectly fine because it's not a straight stamp. All right, so we're done with that. Now, what else? Oh, I get to bring back the ephemera pack. So we're gonna pop this one out. And I didn't use the matte gold. Yeah, that's a little too much. Let's try it. Let's try it and see what it looks like. Here's my sample. Let me get here's my stamp, a block right there. Let's try it. Oh yeah, it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy for that space with the prongs on the side. What do y'all think? While you're thinking of that, let me add my the large gold. Oak leaf, and then I fussy cut. There's like these two little sprigs and a silver leaf, or gold leaf. Too heavy, Terry says, I agree. Okay, so we're gonna pull that off. I'll use that for something else. Okay, now I've got two ferns here. Oh, I know what I was gonna do with those. I must have got distracted. I was gonna put that over there yesterday on my sample card. Fussy cut two of them out, but all right, my glue dots. There, that'll go right there. All right, last thing to do would be to get some glue. Stamp and seal. Again, run it, break it at a 90-degree angle to your table. Run it and break it. Run it and break it. Oh, and I just did that, didn't I? Okay. Did you see what I did? I added adhesive at the top of where I put that. Let's see if I can pull it off. I probably can. There. That. So I'll get, do I need another glue dot? Nope, I didn't pull up paper with that. Yes, Nancy said she agreed with Terry that and Sue said go smaller for this little tag, yeah. To use that piece of ephemera on something else. All right, so there is this card. And that's it for my presentation. So I used the Beauty of Tomorrow stamp set from the Blackberry Beauty Suite. If you like purples, you're going to really like this suite. Hopefully you've already snagged a package of the pattern paper. And that's it for now. I will be back tomorrow after the last presentation to sign off the event. But for tonight, there are a few other people after me. I know Joey Nelson is coming up next, and oh gosh, I looked at her stamp set that she was using and now I've forgotten. I think it's a Christmas one, but you'll see in a few minutes. She will be on in 7 minutes, so you got a chance to go get a drink of water or some chocolate or a root beer float, whatever will keep you going, watching the rest of the sessions for tonight. So I'm going to sign off, and make sure you follow up with the demonstrator that you invited to this group to take advantage of any of these celebration promotions. So we'll stamp with you soon. Bye.